You're listening to Cinema Red Pill. I'm Sharon, here with Brenda.
Hi, how are you? Good to be back.
Yep. Thanks, Brenda, actually, for coming back. Brenda was here sometime last year.
Yes.
And we talked about her in depth. We talked about your career.
Yes.
We talked about your thoughts on Ugandan film, your acting, everything. We got around to everything. So,
yeah.
if you want to know about Brenda more, listen to that episode.
I don't remember what episode was that.
We talked also about the Before trilogy.
Oh yes, we talked about the Before trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies. Yes.
It was fun. It's a popular episode actually. A lot of people listen to it.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about Happy New Year, by the way.
Is this the first of the year?
Yeah, because I released the end of year on 28th.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, so this
cool.
is the first episode of the year, and we're starting with an African film, which is nice.
Very nice.
And it's a Nigerian film. Surprise!
Not those ones, but not those other.
That's exactly what Nigerian films are known. So we're talking about a Nigerian film made by a very famous person. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know
Genevieve.
Yep, Genevieve is the most recognizable name in Nollywood.
I think so. And actually, when you think about African actresses, she's the most recognized. I cannot think of.
I know. And her next step is to direct this. It's impressive.
I know, so impressive. A Netflix movie. Who knew?
I know. This movie, it's so worth talking about. If you're having any doubts that, they're talking about a Nollywood film, this is a different one.
It's a Nollywood Netflix. Nollywood meets Netflix. Yeah, Netflix.
Yep.
Lionheart.
Yep.
Why didn't you even say the title? We're talking about Lionheart, yes.
Yeah, so we're talking about Lionheart. It's been called the first Netflix original from Nigeria. That's exactly how they keep describing it.
Wow.
And of course, like how we started, Nollywood is known for having bad quality.
Hey,
hush. Like bad quality in terms of its low budget.
Yes.
And really low quality content.
Locally. But I think it's because of the people they're targeting, I think.
But even quality in terms of picture, in terms of audio, they don't care that much.
It's all about the story and how they exaggerate everything. But I think there's something about that makes people go back to watch those Nollywood movies.
People like them.
People still watch them, so they've got to be up to something.
So let me describe the plot. The lead actress is Genevieve. She's the one who directed the film, co-wrote it also. There are 5 credited writers. She's one of them.
Yes, and I think there's a kind of a problem there, but we'll get into that.
I know. I can't. Yeah, you'll get there. 5 credited writers. She's one of them, but she's the sole director and she's the lead actress of the film. So Genevieve, we won't call her Genevieve. I can't say her name in the film.
Genevieve Nnaji?
No, like her character name in the movie.
Ada something.
It was so weird.
Yeah, but like it's I think for short they said Ada.
Something like that. But let's refer to her as Genevieve, so you know
okay.
who I'm talking about.
Genevieve.
So Genevieve plays a successful businesswoman who's working at her father's bus company, and she's proven her ability to run the company.
Yes.
Through in the beginning of the film, but when her father falls sick, which means he can't run CEO.
Things, yes.
And of course, at that moment, she thinks she's going to be the one to take over since she's been doing so well. But instead, he picks her uncle in favor, and that's just the first half of the film. It goes on to something more because eventually we find that they have to actually come together and battle. Yeah. Another rival of hers, who is company. So it switches in the middle, and she has to go against a rival who wants to take over the company, and who the dad has another big wig bus guy who wants to consume his company. So the two of them have to cooperate.
They have to work together and make this,
Lionheart's problems. The bus company is called Lionheart.
Yeah, that's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was actually shocked by the plot. I thought Lionheart was going to be about...
Yo, let me tell you something.
What?
When I first saw Genevieve Nnaji, Lionheart, I was like, of course, because I've seen her in all these movies before, but then I was like, okay, here comes another melodrama, Nigerian, like, whose heart's gonna break? That kind of thing.
I thought you meant a strong heart.
Yeah, like, exactly, like, this person is going, perseveres, and And I think that was really brilliant because it was not your typical Nigerian drama about this family or this relationship or this, you know. And
Okay, let's begin. I want you to like picture yourself right when you are done watching the movie. What were your general thoughts of it?
my general thoughts were this is a good movie.
Okay.
I was like, it surprised me, and I felt the things that, for example, that I felt like really stood out, the acting, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Genevieve is an actress, and so directing it maybe had to do with the fact that she's been doing this for such a long time. And I usually say that I think actors and actresses, you know, they make for good directors because they get it. I think, but maybe I don't know, but I think it helps a lot to, like, you know exactly what you're supposed to do, so you guide people through their emotions, what they should do,
that's right.
you know, the cues and everything. So I think that really came in handy for her, because I was actually impressed by the acting and the directing, and I said, okay, I'm glad I watched this, you know. I watched it out of curiosity, but after watching it I was like, this is a good story. You know, I don't know if I would go back and watch it again, but it's a good story. And
would you recommend it to people?
Yes, I would, especially because the African movies that usually come out, they have a certain, they're either selling, you know, oh, Africans are struggling, it's poverty, or Africans child trafficking, or Amin did this, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's like it's different, and it has the heart of family, but also it goes into really what this woman what she's expected to do without you. And in a way, I don't know whether that did her character a favor or not. The fact that she wasn't given all these, like, you know, these normal tropes that come with being a woman in a position of power, dealing with men, you know, misogyny, and, like, you know, all this stuff.
They hint to them, though.
They do, but I also feel like she kind of had it easy.
Okay.
You know, because for me at first it's like, okay, I can see her relationship with her dad, it's a good relationship, but also with her mom, most of the stuff that we hear the mom saying is like, you know, oh, sit up straight, oh, you know, but then beyond that, there's no sense of like the mother, in my opinion, her being the wife to this man who like survived a heart attack or whatever it was, she was too calm for me. You know, like, I was thinking, is this the woman that raised this girl? Because actually I feel like they emphasized the relationship with the dad more than that with the mom. So I'm left wondering, okay, she's this woman, but how did the mother impact her becoming this woman? So there's a bit of that, but then also the fact that I feel like, yes, they avoided the cliche things of like, oh, this woman is going to encounter all these men trying to do what, but I feel like it could have given a certain sense into her character to show how, you know, strong she is and everything. If, like, at least, I don't know, if maybe when the uncle comes, we actually see an actual rivalry, you know. We end up seeing them, like, I don't even know. I like the actor. That's the guy who did Osofia.
He's the one.
You remember from when we were growing up, like Osofia in London.
God, I could tell he has to be a famous
guy.
guy.
He did so many of those movies. Hilarious guy.
God.
But, like, I kept questioning his character and what exactly he was doing there, because I kept thinking, if you remove this guy from the movie would still go on.
It would still go on.
So I thought he was going to come in and challenge her, and they kind of, like, made it look like that, you know, in the beginning when he comes and at the first day when he's at the office, he calls for this prayer thing in the morning, you know, and people like just pray and everything, and she comes and she's like, oh, okay. Then he's like, oh, you didn't come for the prayers, oh, you know. So I'm thinking he's going to, like, start doing things that piss her off and even, like, get her to, like, maybe lose focus on, like, what she should be doing. But instead they sell us a Kumbaya story that I kind of did not buy into.
So that's your criticism.
That is where my problem really is, because
now I see why you felt that way.
Yeah.
Because my thoughts on this is, it really was going out to simply be that Kumbaya, just a feel-good movie.
Yeah, they could have made it harder.
And I think as soon as I noticed that, I can't remember which point was like, so these guys do. I think it's that moment when they're about to start having some sort of rivalry, and then the movie starts having this sort of comedic tone where there was like a bit they were playing where it's really comedic. They have this scene where like a bunch of auditors or something come and the three of them are standing there. That's a very comedic visual gag that people do, even the way the camera would turn and they'll leave like a break for you to laugh.
Yes.
Like, also these guys actually are not going to let us see her actually suffer.
You know?
From that point I became okay with it. I'm like, they're going to go all the way. So now we're here to just feel good about stuff.
Yeah, we're just here to see
and
a woman
I took
win.
it as the way it is. And it made me think of something, even though it's not a great time to talk about him, but it made me think of Kevin Hart movies and like the Rock movies. I know. They'll put a conflict like, he's suffering from this, but all the way through they'll never make him actually suffer.
Yeah.
They just want you to be as if happy. He'll go through some good trials, but he's going to sail all through. They're going to sail through, and you're just going to sit comfortably and say, oh, this is a cute little sweet movie.
Honestly,
and it's well done. So I was like, this is good, this is fine.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it, right? This is okay. And maybe also that's another thing that I feel like they should have kind of like given us an insight into the relationship between the father and the brother, right? If that guy, the guy who plays the uncle and the dad, I'm just like wondering, okay, what is their relationship? How can someone just call their younger brother to come and take over the company, yet their daughter has been, running things? Okay, I answered the first one for myself. I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't necessarily trust the daughter to do things, on her own, and maybe she might need help.
He tells her he wants her to suffer a bit. He wants her to see that life just doesn't. Yeah. What you expect to happen sometimes doesn't happen. Yeah.
And I think that's okay, but I feel like it's kind of like there's a bit of lazy a bit. I don't want to say that, but there's a laziness to that, because I feel like if they were going to use this guy, first of all, I expected him to be an asshole. Yeah, I remember I can cuss on this thing. I expect him to be an asshole, give her a hard time, and then finally give us a Kumbaya story, right? But then he comes off like he has come to like make things hard, and then like, next thing we know, he's there like trying to mold her. I'm thinking, what has the father been doing all this time? I thought he was molding her the entire time. So that really is my...
I really think you're asking this movie to be a full-blown emotional drama. Yet it wants to be part drama, part comedy. You want emotional depth and all, yet that's not what it wants to be.
I don't think I want emotional depth. I wanted some more conflict there. I feel like she kind of got away with some of these things.
But they kept presenting more conflicts, but different ones.
Okay, like which one?
Like other guy, finding her rival was the one who came to bring that other bus guy to come up.
That's
the money thing.
But now you see that rival was directly at the company, but now she was facing this rival. It was her, the family, the uncle, the father, everyone. But her as her, like, I wanted to feel like her battling something on herself, like, like what is she going against,
Okay.
And also the fact that she didn't seem to have anything else outside, and I think that was the intention. Anything else outside her work and home life, there's nothing else going on. And that explains why she's at that point in in her career and running the father's business. And but for me that's really was the issue with the uncle's character, is that he could have been used to even create more. I guess I just like drama. I don't know.
Yeah, he seemed to be there even more for the comedic effect, because he was funny. He was one
funny.
Of the funnier
he
people.
was funny.
Now, like I said, I wanted us to talk about the themes. And speaking of this guy, like the uncle and her, there's this theme they had about the generational gap that they had. The uncle had old school ways, therefore
and then
had new school ways. Wasn't that a good enough conflict? It wasn't. I liked that conflict.
Like I said, I like drama. So I think for me, I saw that and I'm like, okay, I can see that. But I guess I expected things to break. Not like
you
that.
wanted a hardcore. No
You
wonder
know, at some point I kept thinking I was waiting for that office to be turned upside down, and like the workers are like, whose side are you on?
But now, Brenda, don't you think that would lead them to the exact thing that Nigerian movies are? Like a full-blown dramatic thing.
And maybe that's why I like Nigerian movies. I mean, I don't know.
You intentionally said this is better than them.
It is, because it's not in your face like that.
Yeah, those things tone it down. It's so toned down, I was in shock.
And I truly like that they did that, but also I feel like maybe they might have toned it a bit way too down.
It's
I wanted to hear some fingers snapping.
It's hard to please people. I would be
It is
pissed
hard.
if I were her and hearing you say this thing.
Oh no, I hope no. She'll never hear this, so that's okay.
But
Yeah.
I like that. And we had gone over it a bit, but the sexy stuff was really there.
Yeah, it was.
She actually has some scenes, and one of the very first incident she has is when she shows up late, and her dad was about to start a meeting without her because she was irrelevant in that
And then
moment.
this other guy,
Yes.
who was also
Yes.
who was presented as a potential rival, was
Yes.
not utilized.
In him,
Anyway, what can I say?
you
I
wanted
feel like
so much more from this.
no, but you see, that's the thing. Not exactly. I'm just giving the things that I expected, but then
Okay.
overall, I actually enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
But I think after watching, usually now, like for me, I turn my critical mind on, and so it goes into that, So it's usually I might say this right now, but overall, I know I really enjoyed this movie
enjoyed it.
because I kept going on about the production design, like I don't know if you're there yet.
No,
Like,
we are everywhere now.
Yes,
Just
but
go.
like I truly appreciated the production design. I just like, oh my god, that looks good. That looks
Yeah,
good.
it did.
The tones, the whole what do they call that thing? I'm not into design and stuff, but like the tone of the whole movie, like how it looked. I know like colors are just like popping out. It was like a very subtle.
Warm, yeah.
How do they call that thing? I don't know. But yes, they had a lot of like, not dull, but like subtle colors.
Yeah, they did.
And they kept like having like, try to match it like the surroundings. I mean, which they're supposed to do rather. But then I think the only thing is that at some point they overdid it. At some point, like she was wearing the same color, the same dress.
I felt like that was intentional. Is it not a rich people thing? To be
To
able to
monochrome?
wear the same thing. The way Mark Zuckerberg literally wears the same t-shirt every day.
Yeah, but that's okay. But if she's going to wear the same color of the dress, that doesn't mean that father has to wear the same color of gown in the next
I
scene.
like that thing. Okay, that one I'm really mad at you. I like that she kept wearing green.
The green was, I kept thinking,
nice.
and now at some point, like the green just was all over the place. I'm like, okay, I get it.
I liked it. And her hair was amazing.
She had amazing hair, but did you see that part where she put it down? I was like, why can't they let her have this hair down at least for?
I think it was fake.
What do you think?
I think she had like a natural thing on her head,
Oh.
that thing that you stick on. So when they put her hair down, I was like, this is not the hair that was up. It
Yeah, it
look
has a
like
certain
the same
stiffness to it, but still, I feel like they could have played around with it. She looked really nice with the long hair.
hair.
Yeah. So, but anyway, she looked professional. I liked.
She did look
I like.
so dope.
Yeah. I like the. I did like the colors. So, like I said, they overdid the green, but overall, and then when they ditched it, they forgot about
They
it
will,
completely.
because it's
That's the thing.
So there
And,
in the beginning.
and I kept thinking, I'm sure someone must have realized that this green is too much, and so they decided,
let's quit it.
because after the movie gets halfway, like you stop seeing the greens, they
Yeah,
disappear completely. So I was
disappears.
thinking, what does this mean? But I try not to read too much into it. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the things that kept, like I said, stood out for me, like the acting was on point. Like everyone came and did their job, and I like that she got, these A-list Nigerian actors.
Ooh, can we talk about P Square though?
Oh, which one was it? I don't know
was
which.
there?
I don't know which one, but he was there, and
As soon as they showed up, I'm like, oh, it was funny.
do you know, it
actually
was so
to
funny,
me.
and I just like that he was objectified.
Exceedingly objectified. Oh god, but this
I
movie,
just kept looking. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're working
we're
with.
saying
Okay,
that it does actually have some cliche things. It does.
yeah, it does.
It does.
It's a
but
Nigerian
they're
movie.
fine. Like when the rich guy steps out with his shoe in the car, I
Uh-huh,
looked at that
uh-huh.
scene, I'm like, oh my god.
No,
so
back to the P Square guy. So he's at his piano and everything.
Yeah.
First of all, I found he had the worst acting in the whole thing.
It was too brief for me to care, and I was amused
and I think
by
that's the
it.
thing. It was so amusing, but then like when you watch again, you're like, but dude, you just kept like showing us his chest and saying certain
was
things.
there for the
Like
abs.
he distracted us. We couldn't even see. I didn't even know what he was saying, right? So I feel like, and then he just comes and it's like, Ada.
Oh God!
And then
make her
he's like,
all
oh, you're
sneaky.
tired. Oh, you should, have a drink. And I'm like, oh, why is he like this? Like he was so dreamy. But yeah, anyway, he did, I think, and I take back the word of the worst acting. Like, okay, like you say, it was too brief, but if he had gone on long, I don't think you would stand watching him act.
Oh, I would hate if he came back in another scene.
I'm like,
I
I'm
would
so
have-
glad we
would
didn't
have
see
lost
him
a
again.
full point for
Yeah,
me.
and that was such a good decision. They're like, you know what?
She made really good decisions.
She
in this
did,
movie.
she did.
Really, it's a good debut. For
I
her.
liked her assistant as well. I think I saw her in
loved
the.
her assistant. I
s-
wished we had more.
Yeah,
She
I wanted
was
to see
really
what
good.
what the relationship was like beyond her bringing coffee and
I
everything.
don't think someone like that can have depth, though. Do you
I
really
don't
think?
know. I don't know. Maybe she's the only friend she has because clearly.
Speaking of friends, I also had that thought when she went to P Square, because already I'm like, oh, P Square, oh, this is funny, but I'm like, why the hell is the only person she can turn to
Her ex-boyfriend.
for money?
Because she seems like she didn't have
Was
any
that-
female
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
And for me, that kind of
I
bothered
have-
me.
But that thing, I think I was having that same conversation when we were talking about Felicite. Because it's the same thing. You're very happy with yourself. You've made a strong, independent woman. But man, you don't know how
There's
to navigate
no-
her and friendships. It's like
No.
they've never seen a woman like that with friends. Yet they be drowning in friends.
I know, right?
Drowning.
Because the only other person she has around her, the only other female
By the
support she
time
has
you've
is.
held back that long, is actually because you're complete with the friendships around you.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying I feel like maybe her assistant or her mother, one of them
She
could have
literally
been.
has no female friendship that's
No, she does. So there's nothing substantial there. It's just her
Yeah,
dad, her uncle,
that's
and then the
really
bus
valid.
company.
Yeah.
So I found that it was lacking. But hey, like we said, the assistant, because I remember seeing her in, I think, Sugar Nigeria.
I'm not
I
saying
don't know how
that.
many they are. I don't know. They keep putting these things out. They need to
Oh,
stop.
sugar, like sugar. Which
Sugar, the
Lupita
sugar,
was
yes.
in.
Because at some point they kind of like lost the plot.
Eh,
But I saw her in one of the sugars, but she did a good job.
That's dope.
That's the first time I saw her,
she was good in this.
and yeah, she was really good. So I wanted to see like more of her, like see like how is her relationship with her boss. But yeah, and oh yes, there was this scene which I feel so bad about because I had no idea what they were saying because I got a pirated copy of the movie. Oh my goodness!
We didn't put no. We've talked about piratation enough to not
Okay.
care anymore.
No, now this is what happens. I didn't have subtitles, right?
I
so
downloaded subtitles.
I couldn't find them.
Oh,
But now I'm going to go back and watch the one with I got the subtitles, so I'll go back and watch with the subtitles.
what scene in
So
particular?
the scene where everything, I don't know, is it Igbo? Is it, I don't know which language it is. The dining table, on the dining table.
Where there's the Nigerian scammers, where they're scamming the guy.
No.
Oh,
the family
the
at the
family
table. Yes, the
table.
family table.
Oh,
I didn't understand
you
a
didn't-
single thing they were saying, but
So
oh
you
my
didn't
god.
get to hear about them telling her she goes to the gym now.
I had those bits, but that was
Yeah.
before they settled into the actual local language.
Eh.
So they are teasing her about going to the gym. But now you see sometimes you would hear they would throw an English word around, so you would
Yeah.
know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But I didn't even have to know what they were talking about. But there was such a beautiful energy there, like
It
you know,
was
seated,
very good.
having like an African family seated, having dinner, whatnot, and everyone just like throwing dabs at each other and what, and it was, and I feel like that is like what actually it was a very, very beautiful scene. Like it was one of the scenes that stood out for me in the entire
I
movie,
really
and
liked
it's a
that
shame that I had
scene.
no idea what they were talking about. But I'm going to go and find
You
out.
should go back and check what they were talking
Yeah,
about.
but you see, even if I never find out what they were talking about, it communicated,
yeah.
and that's the power of the whole thing. Like
That
the
shows
scene,
how good
like
it is.
I didn't know what they were saying, but I could see the father says something, the auntie says something. This one, jabs what, and I'm like, I know exactly what this scene is. I've been in this setting before. I have, I relate to this.
That scene is really good. It's also one of the things that I had pointed out, because it had a lot of things that are so true to African people and African parents, and the kinds of conversations
that they have,
which you dread to listen, to hear when you go, and they make it a point to like
bring
really
it up, especially coming from the holidays. Just come from the holidays. I know most people can relate.
It was fun. I think that kind of disparity was there even in the beginning when they were telling the bus people were telling her, you think this is America, this is Nigeria, trying to show her you're out of touch. Then these parents also saying, oh God, you're a whole other generation away from us. It was really good.
So I really liked that one as well.
It was great. The one I was about to talk about, which I had wrong, was the bit when they're still at P Square's house, and then the uncle goes down the stairs and finds a Nigerian scammer.
What was that all about?
I like that scene.
How?
Because we know Nigerians to be scammers.
Okay, if you say it like I hadn't seen it like that, because now that makes a lot of sense. Because what happened again, I didn't have subtitles on that part. So I kind of like, I knew something, he was warning him about something. But I think for me, I like that scene actually. I appreciated it, but then I think that what I didn't actually like was how like it was supposed to, eventually they show us that this is the connection.
It was a plot device.
It was such a it was so.
You hated that plot thing. Me too.
I feel like it was so lame.
It was so lame.
I was like, really,
that
guys?
That is by far one of the lamest things. It's one of the scenes that makes me hesitate when I'm like, shit. Recommending this to someone,
can I recommend?
Hard
because it was painful. Like you've come such a long way, like this, and then now you're telling me that the guy that he met in the basement,
accident.
And oh my God, we meet at the pilot, and then he takes me to his home. He takes us, and we are. It was so lazy.
That was bad.
It was really lazy storytelling, and I know people who like
really
felt
have been
exactly
smart about that.
Yeah, it was so like why? Like okay, and I feel like at least they should have used the angle whereby if they wanted to use that as to reveal something in the end, maybe I see Genevieve's character should have been the one to walk downstairs, run into this guy, find him being scammed and whatnot, and then show us this love thing, because I can believe the whole thing like the universe brought them back together, but that probably would have been worse.
But that thing destroyed me, because after that
I was
I'm like,
so
this is so
disappointed.
pointless.
Yo.
And even before it even happened, like in that scene where they're giving us like a montage of her struggling, I just got this feeling like these guys are going to make it easy in the worst way possible.
They made it
and
so
they,
easy.
They went even lower than the bar I had set for them.
That's why when you say that, I love that scene where the uncle was, trying to like talk to this person being scammed. For me, I related it immediately to the other. I was like, no, it did not work. In the beginning,
I thought they were just showing us some random Nigerian scammers, because we know that those were scammers. But in the end, you're like, that was all to give us this very lazy plot. Screw you guys.
So I was like, you know what, guys, it's okay. And then the pitch she gave, it was supposed to be this monologue. You could tell the way it was like written. The monologue she gave, like when she was like pitching this guy why she wants to, merge the companies. And I could tell they had planned. They wanted something bigger. It was supposed to be this, thing that happens, like just changes everything. But then like, it was lacking, and I just kept thinking, okay, I can see, but even that guy was like, is that all you have? Maybe that was intentional, I don't know. But I felt like, and then afterwards they hinted, these people are now going to get married. It was so obvious.
I even worried that they were going to end with a wedding. I was like, thank God. I was worried they were going to end with a wedding.
I actually expected a whole big...
I was worried if they had done that, I hate it.
Because I've seen way too many Nigerian weddings.
And they do like showing us themselves getting married, so
but you
wouldn't have been surprising at all.
I think overall, like I said, and I think you remember, like if you saw like what I posted online, it was a thing of it had so many good things about it, but there are just a few things I just like, and that's why like I can tell someone you can watch it. It's a good movie, especially it's considering that it's a good movie for us as Africans, and that it's going to open so many doors for us. That means, even us sitting here, one day we can decide, okay, let's pitch something Netflix, and they can pick it up because they have seen Africans can do this as well. And so we can start telling our own original stories. And that's the beauty in that. And the directing was on point, the acting was on point. just a few things here and there. And I think I really like the I forgot to mention, I liked how like the dad gets this attack or whatever and he doesn't die. I was so ready for this old man to die.
That is in pure Nigerian fashion.
Yes, in pure Nigerian fashion. He was supposed to die. And she was supposed to take over the,
but it did
the estate and everything.
It dodged a lot of their stupid tropes.
It did. And I think that for me, that's why I was like, you know what, this movie, I just give it a solid, 7, I guess. Like it's... Yeah, it really, it did. They really did a good job.
Now, I think my final thing I wanted to ask you, although it's a weird thing to ask, what overall do you think the movie was trying to say?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because I feel... I honestly don't know, but in my own interpretation, I think they were really trying to, like, again, just share, like, another story of an African family, like another human story, but, like, more, they wanted, like, African content.
Okay.
Like, for me, that's what I think.
Yeah.
And because...
But by the time they choose a bus company owner, that's a choice.
Yeah, that's a choice.
You're really making a choice to show a well-to-do version of people.
Yes.
What do you think of that choice and how they went with it?
I think, honestly, for me, the whole thing of, like, choosing a bus company as opposed to, let's say... What do Nigerians do besides scam?
They have princes. I don't know where do
princes?
Nigerian prince.
Like princes, like royal princes and stuff.
They like royalty stuff. Don't they do those lem things? Like over rich people?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, they do that. I feel like I like the bus thing. And also, how would I put it? I guess because they show us like they're this rich family, but then on a daily basis, they deal with like middle class people. They deal with like working class people. So they're not so like, it's a very thin line. Of course they're providing these services, but they have to make sure these people are comfortable. They have to make sure So on a daily they interact with the normal people, regardless of their status. So I think that, I don't know if that was one of the things they were going for, but that's what I see.
Okay. I was thinking of that thing a lot because I think I don't know what kind of stories they tend to tell the most. Don't they tend to tell middle class people, like the high level of people's stories? Do they ever go to the normal people, like in a normal house, not a man with a rich family? They like capitalism, those people.
The kings and queens of capitalism.
So they're really such capitalist people, and they never even bother to... Like, I wish they had even been more critical of themselves as capitalists. I wish they had been more critical of how disconnected she is. Like, there are some scenes where they would show her in the taxi park.
Now, we know that scene
in a car
where she goes to the taxi park and she's like eavesdropping.
Be more critical of yourself, how removed you are.
Yeah, like, and I kept thinking, so she's going to eavesdrop on a normal person, but then her driver is behind her.
Yeah. In
this big ass car.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that was so lame.
It was exceedingly lame.
Yeah, and then she eavesdrops. She hears what they're saying. I don't even know what that was. Again, no I just know like
be near the people.
Then she jumps. You need to be near the people, but you just jump back into your huge car.
Yeah.
It was really
those things. I think I would like it more if it was a bit more critical of itself, or if the people were a bit less rich.
Yeah, they were too rich. Yes. There's this scene though that I really liked where the daughter is sitting with her dad outside, and like the moon is like overhead. It looked so beautiful. Like I just kept looking at it. The daughter is sitting with the father. Yeah, when the father was talking to her about
after the dining scene.
Yeah, it was after the dining scene. Okay. At some point, if you go back, you will see there's like a big moon. Like for me, that's all I could see. Okay, and I just thought that was such beautiful, direction for the cinematography, and I was like, that is really beautiful. And like as they were talking, it's like as if the moon just kept moving or something. I don't know. And I'm like, how did I film that?
I did notice that. I should go back and see.
Yeah, but overall, it was a really beautiful film.
It is,
and it's going to open so many doors. And I think that means Genevieve is going to. And that's the thing. That's why I kind of actually
she
like.
Does more movies.
She needs to do more, and also that's the thing. Like we don't have to now run to Hollywood. Hollywood, should come to us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that is all made possible by Netflix right now, because of course all these big studios. I'm really impressed
she didn't have to go to Hollywood and be successful there. I'm happy she's trying to make it work in Nigeria.
But don't you think? I actually have a feeling she probably tried.
She tried and failed?
Probably. Hollywood, I don't know, but I just know, I just can only imagine it has to be tough.
She probably tried and failed.
Yeah, and then she was like,
But
know what?
have you seen interviews with her?
No,
She's so humble.
She is
So humble.
but I don't know. I don't think I would expect
shocking.
different.
I don't know why. I think I would only see photos of her. She's so pretty.
Yeah.
So
oh my goodness. And that's the thing. Like I kept
Yeah.
thinking, like she has not aged one bit. Okay, she's grown older, you can see, but she's still so hot.
She's exceedingly hot. She looks like she's fucking 25.
I'm like, can we like not do this to ourselves? Like, why is this woman still this beautiful? Like, hello. But that's the beauty about it, Africans, and she looks really good. And I actually, speaking of how she looked, there's this scene when she's jogging and whatnot. I like how, I think because she's the director, when she's running in these things, I think it's only one scene where we even see like her full body. Like she in all the shots, like they're trying so hard to like not focus on her body. Like basically that's the beauty of the female gaze, because for her if she's directing, she's not going to like focus on her behind or her body or what. No, she's just going to like focus on getting this character to move to from point A and say this and that. So I think I like that, because there's this scene where she's jogging and I kept waiting for the camera to go down on her ass, and it was not happening, and I was like, oh, she's a woman directing, that's why it's not a big deal. But if it was a guy directing, the chances they would have like even zoomed in a little bit on her behind. Oh, we're making progress. We really are.
Yeah, but anyway, if anyone's listening, just know this thing is worth your time.
It is worth your time.
Flawed, but it's
worth
good.
it.
Yeah,
it's
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Brenda, thanks for coming back.
Always
You'll be
a
back
pleasure.
anytime soon.
Yes.
We
need to talk about that other movie that I said we should talk about.
Waiting to Exhale?
Yes. Problematic movie.
Have
you watched it?
I watched it. I'm not going to enjoy talking about that thing. It's straight trash.
That's why we should, and people like hail it so much. That's why I want.
My only way we'll talk about it is if we combine it with something nice.
Okay.
Like another all black girl movie
that did really well and that actually
we
like set it off.
Ooh, will be okay. That's an interesting.
Yeah, I feel like Set It Off also has pretty much this. It has.
Don't you
sisterhood,
think Set It Off
friendship
is more better combined with like widows because they are robbing? I want something that's
perfect.
Real more
Actually,
relationshipy.
Yes. Okay. Which relationshipy movie?
Like but in a good way.
Maybe something Tyler Perry, but yeah.
Ew.
Clearly, we need to go. By the time we start mentioning Tyler Perry,
the best thing I can think of is Girls Trip, but that's too comedy.
Yeah, it's too comedy.
Yeah, something more serious. Jesus Christ, black girls, we have no movies.
We don't. It's so sad.
It's so easy to think of a white guy movie like that. They're in the thousands.
It's so unfair, but hey, who knows?
Anyway.
Maybe Genevieve will come through for us.
May she please? God.
We hope she does.
Anyway, Brenda, thanks. You'll be back for Waiting to Exhale and something good.
Yeah, we'll
have
figure
to think
out
of something good because that movie is trash.
It is trash.
And yeah, thanks. Watch Lionheart. Follow Cinema Red Pill on social media. Thanks for listening. This is Cinema Red Pill. Bye.